This podcast is part of the Zeo to Hero Podcast Network.
AvenuePodcast.net.
Hello, all my beautiful people. It's time for another fun episode of If You Give a Data podcast, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who is listening right now. Whether you've listened for a long time, or maybe this is your first episode that you're hearing, I am happy that each and every one of you are here to hear this today, and I believe this is going to be a really cool episode. I'm actually talking to one of my friends today from Original Geek, Eric Cushing. He is the lead artist at Original Geek. Like I said, he is one of my friends. I am really glad that I was able to have him on and have this conversation today. It was a ton of fun. We talked about cosplay and process and all kinds of other fun stuff. I think you're going to have a really fun time hearing this episode today. And for those of you who are here just to listen to the Eric Cushing episode, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you hear, and I hope that you come back and listen to some of my other episodes as well. So, if you guys are as excited as I am, then let's get this show on the road.
If You Give a Data podcast.
You're bloody welcome!
You know?
Hey, Dad.
If I get my hand stuck in a pickle jar, I'm straight up bowling a china shop, just swinging around.
Started writing songs when I was about 12 or so.
Seriously?
They're retrofitting me now, and
I'm like, yes, finally.
I've also had the opportunity to go train with Hoist Gracie and Dan Seprin.
Wow.
I like that. That's different. Stands out.
That day I took my very first bump and it was fun.
There's only one section to go through first.
Yeah.
Toys.
Bro.
I was like, no, man, surely this guy's not worked out that long.
I haven't laughed that hard since I was a little girl.
What?
Man, this guy won't shut up.
And just a reminder before we get started here, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to IYGADAP wherever it is you're listening to. Hit that notification bell so you are notified when a new episode drops. Also, make sure that you go out there and rate and review this episode. Tell me what you think of it. And the more people that do that, the more likely I am to be recommended to somebody else. Now, on to the show. All right, everybody. So today is going to be fun. This is a guy that I know personally. I've went to a few cons, or I've went to a con with him. I'm about to go to another one with him here pretty soon. I consider him to be one of my friends. He is the head artist at Original Geek. He's based out of the Central Arkansas area, and he is a super talented guy. I'm talking about Eric Cushing. Man, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's, feels great being on this podcast. I'm a celebrity now.
Yeah, you've made it now. Now you can retire.
Yeah, I can. I can start charging for my my signatures on
Exactly.
my work.
Yep. Yeah, all those cons that we're going to be going to, you can start charging people whenever you do one of those.
Cents.
25 cents, man.
Yeah.
You're going to make the big bucks.
I mean, I'm only charging what it's worth. So, I mean.
So, yeah, we actually, the first time I got to meet you was when we went to Matrotham Con. That was in May, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
It was a long trip, man.
Yeah, it was a very long trip. But yeah, it was fun.
It was. Yeah. The last day, I think, was probably the most fun that we had at the con itself. So, I'm hoping we'll get to go back to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be even better next time.
Yeah.
Because I think that time we didn't really know what to expect.
Right.
And,
yeah.
But yeah, that last day was awesome.
Well, and I think next year that they're going to be doing it's Star Wars and Star Trek that they're going to be having. So, I mean, you might have some arguments happen there.
Oh, maybe. Or new friendships.
Very true. Very true. I like it. See, you think the positive. That's good.
Yeah, you
I
have
like
to.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Today's world. Yeah. You almost have to.
You really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of just jump right into this. And you're the head artist at Original Geek. And a funny story that Sean and Nick both told me is that they've been friends with you for quite a while, and they had no idea that you even drew. And so how did that happen? Did you like show them like, hey, I did this piece of art, or did they catch you doing it, or what happened to where they realized that you had this talent?
Yeah. So to give you some lore, I actually knew Sean for a while already, just through like the cosplay community and kind of the geekdom community, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Nick, I met much later. So he was at an opening for a collector's shop in Sheridan, Arkansas. That's
Okay.
where my hometown is,
Uh-huh.
which is also his hometown. So
Right.
I went naturally. I was like, hey, I'm going to check this out. This is pretty cool that the town is getting something like this. Or actually, they moved and they were doing an opening for the new location.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead. And I actually went in cosplay that day, actually in support of a cosplay group I was with. And there's like 3 other people that were in cosplay too, to help celebrate the opening. And so, long story short, I saw him, Nick, at the OG booth. And I was like, hey man, I really like the Vengeance work, and I'm an artist too. Just, if you wanted to check out some of my work, here's some of my work. And I showed him stuff on my Google Drive.
Yeah.
And he was pretty impressed by it. I really liked the work that I had on there. And pretty much from then on, I was recruited, became one of the OGs. So here we are now. But yeah, I think so. Then, like, to kind of answer your question, Sean, who was already part of the OG group, was like, "What the fuck? You draw?" Like, he was completely just like surprised and probably a little betrayed by not knowing this, because he's an artist. He's an artist himself, so just keeping that secret away from him. He's supposed to be, one of his comrades in art. He felt a little betrayed. And I think Nick knew of me, maybe I think he knew of me through the cosplay community, actually.
Okay.
Because we both cosplayed as Red Hood.
Okay.
And so he knew of me, I think, and he just thought I was like a cosplayer. Same with Sean. And they're just like, what the fuck? This guy can cosplay and draw? Like, so.
Double header, man. You got both.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds. So I didn't really know that about you, that you did the cosplay and stuff. What kind of got you into doing that?
Oh man. So I think it was like a long time ago, way back in the day. I'm not going to name any years because, gonna start aging. But way back in the day when you'd go to and from work in the snow. No, I'm kidding. So I used to play TF2 and Team Fortress 2. No one understands that that acronym. So my favorite class was the Scout, and I just thought, I just kind of knew of cosplay, but I was kind of like reluctant to get into it because it seemed so expensive to like get the costume and having to learn how to make it and everything. So when I played TF2, I was really into it. The Scout seemed like a super easy like thing to put together and wear. I'm really into TF2, so I was like, it'd be really cool to try this cosplay thing out. And I was already going to A-Kon in Dallas.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, great excuse to wear my cosplay there. And
definitely.
It was super easy to put together. Like I said, it was basically like a t-shirt and like these rolled up pants and a bag.
Okay.
And a hat. Yeah. Pretty much that's the main parts of the costumes. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's feasible. And I'm not going to spend like hundreds of dollars on it.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty much where it all started. And I got really good responses at the con. Other TF2 cosplayers were there. And I never had that experience with like other people in like a community like that. Like see me at a con and be like, oh, that's awesome. And hey, and like role play, in that in the TF2 kind of like realm. And so yeah, that was an awesome feeling. So just from there, just was like, hey, I love this feeling. I loved putting together the costume as well. And so it just kind of went on and on from there.
Yeah. I have quite a few friends that actually do cosplay. In fact, I have a brother channel for If You Give a Dad If You Give a Dad a Cosplay, and it's one of my friends that's what he does, is different cosplays, and he kind of explains, well, here's how I made this, and he goes through his most recent one is he has a wall behind him whenever he does his videos, and it has all the different weapons for the different cosplays that he does. And he just went through going with that. But everybody starts out somewhere, and usually it's something, a very simple one. And the more longer you do it, the more complex the cosplays get, because, you're excited about it, and you start using that creative side to come up with new stuff. And it's really interesting. I've never done anything like it. I've always thought it would be kind of cool to do it, but I've never done it myself. So I like watching videos about it, and I like talking to people about cosplay.
Yeah, for sure. What you said is absolutely true. With a lot of cosplayers, when they first get into the community and the hobby, they start off small because they don't know, they don't want to invest in something,
right?
Or put a lot of time into it if they don't like it, like ultimately. So that's with anything, really, if you think about it. Start off small. Don't spend a whole lot of money, just enough to get the tools and materials that you need, and then grow from there. And and you talked about how you want to get into cosplay, right?
Yeah,
I think you should.
Yeah,
100%. I would love to see that. Do you have anyone in mind?
I really don't. Not off the top of my head. No, I don't. I just think it'd be cool to do. I would want to, I'm one of those that it has to, and I know in the cosplay community, it's about having fun, and being creative. And I'm one of those, when it comes to me, I'm I'm hard on myself. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And so if I don't think it looks right, then I don't want to do it. And so, but that's for me, I love everybody else's stuff, but whenever it comes to me, I'm like, no, I wouldn't look right doing that because, certain things. So I really don't have anything particular in mind, but it is something that I would eventually like to try to do.
Yeah, I think that you definitely should. And a lot of first-time cosplayers, or even just like seasoned cosplayers, feel the same way that you do. They have that perfectionist aspect about themselves, or they're just self-conscious about how they look in general. And they want to, or they have a vision of how they want to look in a certain cosplay, and if it doesn't meet that, and in their mind there's like they're not having fun, or it's not good enough, so they don't want to show it to anyone. But I think once you try it, regardless, that feeling is going to fade away.
Okay.
Because a lot of the cosplay community is really open-minded and friendly and welcoming.
Yes.
For like 80% of them. Of course, you're always going to get the assholes in every community.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't avoid that completely.
No.
But majority of the cosplay community are very protective and are, vigilant against bullying and that kind of, and judgment. So if you ever want to try it, you're in safe hands, I think. And everyone's always willing to help as well.
Right.
And I'm willing to help, of course, 100%. So yeah, I think you should try it one day. I think it's gonna be a life-changing moment.
Maybe at one of these cons that we go to, I can do something one of the days,
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You just gotta figure out what you really like,
right,
and you'll put forth the right energy into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So right now, my biggest thing is I collect a lot of Funkos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing that I'm searching for Funko wise is the Full Metal Alchemist Funkos. Yeah. And there's one character in there that I think I could pull off, and it's Ed and Al's teacher's husband, because he's the big burly guy with the beard, So I could probably do something like that. But
okay. Yeah, dude, I think you can too.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see.
So are you did you name that character out because you feel like you look like him, or you actually like that character?
Both, actually. I mean, there's a scene that always sticks out between him and Major Armstrong, and they speak to each other with their muscles. They don't actually talk to each other.
I think love that scene.
They just flex, and that scene always sticks out to me. It's hilarious. So yeah, it is a little bit of that because I got the beard going on and all that stuff, and I'm a bigger guy, so that. But at the same time, he's just a fun character. He keeps her calm.
Yeah.
And so I like that, and so that's one that sticks out to me, and that's also my favorite anime is Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah,
so pick. Yeah, and you would be perfect if you wanted to do cosplay.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite cosplay that you do?
Yeah. I would say my Genji.
Okay.
Genji from Overwatch.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I chose that because I spent the most time on it.
Right.
But I spent much less in money on it than I expected to, considering like how involved it was. I was just really crafty, and I was not to like humble brag or anything, but I felt like really creative in how I built that. Compared to like my other stuff, because a lot of my other stuff I had to keep spending money to get it to the level I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And with this one, with the Genji one, I spent under what I expected to like spend for it. So I did a lot of that savings, a lot of the savings from using EVA foam and everything.
Because he's a lot of armor, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a cyborg, so he has just like a lot of like plates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was just able to really figure out a lot of the angles and stuff like that on the plates and that sort of thing really well. And it just came together great. And I love his design as well.
Yeah. So do they have like most of it? Is it just you looking at a picture of him and then designing it? Or is there somewhere that has like dimensions that you can do for the pieces and stuff?
So back then, and I'm not trying to age myself again, but there weren't like a ton of 3D files. I could just like see all of the angles of and like rotate, like the STLs for 3D printing.
Yeah,
that wasn't like super prevalent back in that day.
Right.
But so I had to look at reference images of Genji like in all different angles, and I had to like load up the game and like rotate his model around.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way that's kind of like looking at STL files for 3D models, but
in a way.
Yeah. So I had to do that and then like figure out in a lot of the pieces how to like take a flat sheet and then make it like match the 3D piece I needed it to be.
Gotcha. Yeah. There's so much that goes into that, it's so intricate. And that's another side of it that, that your pride comes out because it's a work of art that you've done. And so you take pride in it saying, yes, I spent all this time building this myself,
Yeah, for sure. And plus like the difference between that and like a lot of art, because I've done a lot of traditional art as well.
Yeah.
You're with cosplay, you're wearing it. So it's supposed to be like you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's, I mean, in a way it's similar because like in like traditional art, like that work is supposed to represent you in some way.
Right.
But with cosplay, like it is you. Like you are supposed to be the art.
Right. Yeah.
And also not a lot of people realize, especially ones getting into the cosplay hobby for the first time, is that role playing the character or acting like the character is a big part of it.
Yes.
You don't have to, but I've discovered like when you do, it just enhances the cosplay so much more.
Right.
Because that's kind of originally what cosplay is about, is costuming, not just costuming, but embodying the character that they're costuming as. Just cosplay. I never did that like a ton, but when I was like the TF2 Scout and kind of Genji, it just made it all the more fun.
Oh yeah. There's one video, or it's a set of videos that I found on a TikTok and stuff, and they go to these cons and they say "shake my hand" in character, and those always crack me up because they're all cosplaying as different people, and you get to see that personality of the character they're dressed up as, come out there. So yeah, I know what you mean by that.
Yeah, for sure. I love that video. I honestly, that like shake their hand thing, like there's honestly so much thought that has to be put to that in that short amount of time.
Right.
If just like spontaneously approached that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's such a specific action. So,
it is. Yeah.
But yeah, that video is amazing.
It is. Yeah. So we kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent there when it comes to cosplay and everything, but I like that. When it comes to this show, I call it a show about nothing. That way I can have a conversation with somebody about anything. It doesn't have to stick to one subject, but art. This is all forms of art, and it's part of who you are. And it's interesting to hear the stories behind that, and what makes Eric.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. You hit the nail on the head on that. And a lot of people wouldn't like see like cosplay, I guess, as like art necessarily, because it's not like traditional form where it's like on a flat surface, that kind of thing. But yeah, you're absolutely true. It's art as well. So it's not too off tangent, I guess. We're still in scope.
We're still in talking about creating. So that's what we're here talking about. I did want to ask you this: when it comes to your art style, to when you're doing drawings and the physical art itself, do you have anybody that you draw inspiration from?
Yeah, I would say it's like a mixture of different artists. So growing up, like middle school, I was introduced to anime.
Yeah.
And so I draw a lot of inspiration in my drawings from that.
Yes.
Because that's when I started to get really serious about drawing towards that time. So that influenced my style a lot, as I was growing as an artist. And as I kept reading like manga here and there, manga that like, this bloomy way, I would adopt, or I tried to learn from their style, and kind of pick and choose different styles and kind of like try to mold them together. So to answer your question, I really like Yoshitaka Amano's art. He did a lot of the like Final Fantasy artwork and like the early concept designs, and he did some Metal Gear Solid stuff.
Okay.
And all sorts of things. And I really love like his wispy style. And it's like very like dreamlike.
Right.
Like color themes and everything like that, and just the shapes of his lines are just amazing and awesome. I just love them. So another artist or slash author, Kentaro Miura, that does Berserk.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably at least familiar with his work or heard of it. And his attention to detail is like just mind blowing.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom like how he did all of that detail and just the designs that he has, and it's a classic,
right,
absolute classic. And his style is just mind blowing. What he's done. Really love One Punch Man. So Murata, he does amazing work as well. Lots of attention to detail as well, but just the way he can express realism, but also inject like his own style and like a manga style mixed in with that is just amazing. And his attention to detail is just mind-blowing as well, especially for like the splash pages that he does with Miura. Just it's just crazy how much detail and like shading and texture work that they'll put into like those splash pages that are just massive.
Yeah.
Another like an American artist I really like is Trad Moore.
Okay.
Did one notable work that he's done that I really got attached to when I first discovered him was the new Ghost Rider, the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider.
Okay, yeah.
That design
Mm-hmm.
and that first arc of him, the design and like the line work, the curvy, exaggerated line work is just amazing to me. Like
Yeah.
it just spoke to me really well, and it just created such a great sense of movement in all of the panels and all the art. Um, and I just love kind of the exaggerated styling as well of everything. So yeah, those are the big ones for me, that have really influenced kind of my style that I have today,
Right.
I would say. So yeah.
So there's a piece of art that you recently did that I actually want to bring up because everyone that I've shown it to has been like, that's really awesome, but it creeps them out so much.
Uh-oh.
And it's the Whispers in the Dark cover that you designed.
Oh, okay.
Man, that is such a cool piece, and I feel that it really drives it home, the kind of the way that they're wanting the story to go with that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, how long did it take you to come up with that? And the other one that you did too is really cool, and it's a very unique style. The one, I guess there's one with him wearing the hat that you did, and it's like a side profile of him, and then there's the one that's the actual cover. What was your process coming up with those?
All right, so the one that's like bluish, that's like a close-up of him with the hat. I actually took that inspiration from some horror movie covers and posters. I think, what's that one movie? Or either Skinwalkers or something, or 30 Days a Night. It's like a close-up of one of the vampires.
Okay.
And it's like close, so like they're like the front of their face partially, and like the back of them is like partially cut off. You just get to see like this zoomed in portion of them.
Right.
So it's like an air of kind of like mystery, but you can also tell it's like some kind of horrific thing, right?
Right.
It's kind of like if you see why it makes it so disturbing and creepy when you see like an entity or a ghost like peeking around the corner.
Yep.
Like it's that mystery about like kind of cutting off the entire image, so you only get like a peek of it, right? So that's kind of where my mind was on, like kind of finding out the format of that and like the structure of that cover. For the one that you're talking about that you showed people, that was disturbing. For that, I actually, to be honest with you, I love using reference images. So I just Googled creepy white face in the dark. And, and so I just took like elements from like 4 or 5 different pieces and pretty much put the idea together to make that cover. So I think I had to look up like different reference images for like someone playing the flute,
right?
And then like the white face in the dark, and then like the eyes and stuff like that. And just really just mesh them together. And I was thinking I was going to actually do both of these covers in my own style and my style.
That
I traditionally do, but I figured that I want to do something special since this is a genre that the OG group is kind of breaking it into.
Right.
Traditionally that they do. I just figured it kind of fit to do something more gritty and like different for this. And I felt like my style was, like I said, like not as gritty.
I got
you. Yeah, like it wouldn't fit as well with the kind of overall theme. And so that's why I kind of went with like a slightly different style for these. But yeah, I'm thanks for showing that around. Popular.
I mean, to be honest, that is actually the video that you asked me, if I did that video for it. That video was heavily inspired by your picture. Like at first when I just knew that I wanted that image to be the first thing that they saw whenever I made that, because it really draws into the point of, something creepy's about to happen here, you know? And so that was when I created that video, that was a very heavy inspiration to where the music went, to where some of the sound effects for that video went, and all of that. So yeah, awesome picture that you have there, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you put that together really well too. Love the atmosphere that you built for that.
Yeah.
But thanks, man. Yeah, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I actually did both of those covers while I was kind of on and off an airplane.
Really?
Yeah. So that was fun trying to draw that while, experiencing turbulence.
Oh, yeah. That's I'm sure that wasn't easy.
That's why you see the lines kind of like scribbly, because bouncing around.
It worked out all right. So
yeah.
So
what
you have
Bob Ross call them? Happy accidents?
There you go. Yeah. Have you ever heard the theory about Bob Ross that like he was actually like a serial killer, and all the scenes that he was painting were like where he hid the body and stuff?
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he was able to create them in his head so vividly and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Getting goosebumps.
I like those creepy, theories about these people and stuff. It's always fun to, probably didn't happen, but what if?
Yeah, now you're thinking, yeah, maybe it did.
Yeah, exactly.
It's improbable, but not impossible.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, what is one that I've heard? Can't think of it. There's one. What's that politician's name that everyone says he's the Zodiac killer or something like that?
Oh, which one is it? I've heard that one before, but I don't remember which politician it was. Because that's probably true. It's a politician.
Oh, yeah, it's like that's where's the lie?
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, Ted Cruz.
Oh, okay. Well, and then have you seen the memes that reference him to looking like the grandpa in the Munsters? And I guess that's the reason why he grew out his beard, so he doesn't look like him as much. So
yeah, I think I've seen that. He looks just like him.
He does, yeah.
It's his nose.
It is, and he's got that little widow's peak, like
yeah.
So.
Yeah, and he grew up. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm like, he has a beard now.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
so weird.
After he actually came out, like he tweeted about it. He's like, I need people to stop sending me this. I don't look like him. And then like a few months later, he's out and about with the beard. You're like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
There is one other that's like serial killer based that I guess he's blocked the comedian who came out with this, and that's Garth Brooks, because apparently every town that he goes to, there's like a murder that happens or somebody goes missing or something like that.
Oh man.
And it's like over years. It's not like just one or two here or there. It's like years worth of it happening in the town when he's there.
That town specifically, or just like
well, in that area, like I don't know if it's that town specifically, but that area, there's always like an abduction or a girl going missing or a murder that happens or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks, right?
Am I right? Yeah.
Garth Brooks. Hey, this is a dad podcast, so I get to say
you can do dad jokes here, man. That's all right. Yeah. I do want it to end of the episode anyway, so
yeah, saved you some time.
Yeah.
No, I'm here for the extra dad jokes. So
there you go. Yeah.
No, but that's crazy. That I wonder if like the police are like, okay, actually, we need to kind of investigate that. This is too.
Like, wait a minute, there might be onto something here.
Yeah. There's the other theory. It's not a serial killer theory, but someone told me about how Taylor Swift looks just like LaVey, that Satanist, his daughter.
Yeah,
like they look identical.
Yeah. Have you seen side-by-side pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty close.
It's very close.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just like, I observe that they look almost exactly alike.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Now, I mean, what's go ahead.
I was gonna say she, I mean, she's made it pretty big, so you never know. They say
something,
people,
Jared?
yeah. I'm not saying anything here, so
You're listening, man. You got to
Yeah.
be careful.
Taylor Swift's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Let my Chiefs continue to do good. So
Oh man, she's like a bard.
yeah.
Music is just empowering other things.
Well, it is really cool. I will say this: she was writing music when she was a teenager in Nashville for people who were big at that time. She's credited for some popular songs from times whenever she was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
So she has talent. And I mean, you have to have talent to make it as big as she has, but it's just, wow. She is massive when it comes to, her fan base and the amount of music that she's come out with. Like you said, she's a bard.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She did some kind of bard spell that made her live a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah. You're giving away her secrets here, man.
I know. I better be quiet.
You're listening.
Yeah, they are, or she is.
Yeah.
If you are Taylor Swift, hello.
Yeah.
How are you? Please don't
send your Swiftie army after us.
Yeah, don't switch or steal my soul through your music or something.
She's writing a song about you as we speak.
I know, right? It's like a Death Note, but
yeah.
Every ex-boyfriend like dies or something.
I actually have one of those sitting right next to me right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my wife got it for me for Christmas. They had them on Temu for like $7, and it's leather bound, and it came with like the feather quill and everything.
Oh wow. You open it has your name in it.
Yeah. It actually, the first couple pages is all the names that he wrote in the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Those people actually died then. Like, yeah. Whoever has those names in reality.
Yeah, yeah.
Worse people.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Because Jared had to get something off Temu.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. A whole bunch of people.
So, do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, drawing.
Drawing, okay. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. So I have probably have undiagnosed ADHD.
Okay.
And I just get into a whole lot of like hobbies or random hobbies like frequently.
Uh-huh.
And I just go really deep into them, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done. Then I'll go to the next one. So I'm trying to go through my head. So really, it was kind of like cosplay.
Uh-huh.
Like, spending all that money and time into making the cosplays and wearing them. And then I was still doing that, but then I got into custom mechanical keyboards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got into like, and I'm not trying to geek out too much here, but
you're good, dude.
Okay. All right. So I'm in a safe space, right?
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I would end up buying like the different components of the keyboard just to like customize it to my needs and aesthetics. So I'd buy like the plate that goes under the board, pretty much the circuit board.
Okay.
TC board. And then I would buy the switches that the keys like sit on to activate and send signals to the computer.
Yeah.
Those, affected the sound and feel of typing. Then I'll get custom keycaps, and then sometimes the keyboard be made out of plates, and I'll get like custom plates, like for the case. And then there's RGB inside the keyboard, and then there's custom cables, and then I guess yeah, I know it's kind of weird. I guess not as weird anymore, but
no, not at all. I mean, it's kind of cool actually, because you got it exactly what you wanted, and you can make it look exactly how you want it to too.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess as an artist, I'm kind of extra picky about
Yeah.
aesthetic stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, I have an Instagram just for my keyboard hobby.
Oh,
Not late at
cool.
all. No. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, yeah. Um, so I jumped from that to, or I didn't jump from that, kind of at the same time, but a little after that, I
Uh-huh.
got more into it, into Gunpla or Gundam
Okay.
uh, model kits, and it extended to other mecha model kits as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of collected slash built those. Custom action figures. I did those. Let's see, collecting figures
Yeah.
as well. Um,
Like
yeah,
the figures that you put together, or just like figures in general?
just in general.
Okay.
In customizing them as well. So I would paint them,
Okay.
just any kind of like, especially figures that didn't exist. I'd be like, oh well, I want to make a figure out of that, and so
Right.
I would do
Well,
things like that. So
there was a lot of people that were doing that with like the Power Rangers Lightning Collection,
yeah,
because in the movie, the Ninjetti, he was the White Ranger. They're like, well, I want a green Ninjetti Ranger, even though that didn't exist. So they'd
right.
buy an extra one and they would paint it to be the green one instead. So yeah, that I've seen that done a few times, and you can come up with some really cool stuff doing that.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like it's kind of like cosplay. You
Yeah.
vision like a character or like a certain version or your own version,
Mm-hmm.
your own lore, your own canon about a character, and you either wear it,
Yep.
cosplay, or you build it on something else that represents that, which could be actually custom action figures, which I guess is why I got into both. Um, uh, so yeah, I mean, it's like uh, breathing life into these characters that someone envisions in their mind.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
brought up anime a little bit ago. Do you have a favorite one, or what was your first one that actually got you into anime?
So the first one that got me really into anime was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
When I got into middle school, I met up with some new friends, or I met new friends,
Yeah.
and they were already into Dragon Ball Z,
Uh-huh.
and so I just got into it just through them recommending it, um, and I was just hooked because it was so different from American
Right.
anime,
Yeah.
and just the style of it was so unique, and it's such a breakaway from American animation, which what I was used to at that point.
Yeah.
And that just kind of launched me into anime really in general. And like a lot of American animation, they use a lot less frames in their
Uh-huh.
animation. So the animation looks a lot more jumpy.
Right.
And with like even Dragon Ball Z in comparison, during that time, uh, that animation was so smooth
Yeah.
and just um, really dynamic, especially whenever they were fighting. It was just like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Like on that scale and everything. And just the stylization of it all was just so different and just so appealing to me and just spoke to me at that time and just went from there.
Yeah.
I would say so to answer your question about my favorite anime,
Uh-huh.
uh, that's a really tough one, very loaded question. Would you say like movie?
Sure. Yeah, we can go movie.
Either I would say Ghost in the Shell
Okay.
or Akira. Because I love the cyberpunk genre,
Yeah.
and that's my favorite like fictional genre. Um, and so that already with those two really hooked me, and just the immense and mind-blowing like animation in both of those, and the amount of work you can tell that they poured into it, them is just like amazing to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are both good ones too. That I obviously enjoyed both of those. But you were talking and it made me think of you were talking about older animes and stuff. and the style whenever you first got into like Dragon Ball and coming from an American style and stuff. And there was one that I didn't realize that was technically an anime that I watched as a kid. And the other day somebody brought it up, and it was like, those deep dive memories that you haven't thought of in years. And I wanted to see if maybe you knew of this show too. It was called Ronin Warriors.
Yes, dude.
Yeah. Like,
I love Ronin Warriors.
Somebody put a picture up of that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure I had like a toy of one of them too. And it was like the red one that had the horn that came out the one side, and
yeah.
I didn't, when I was a kid, I didn't realize that was a, technically an anime. And I loved that show.
Yes, dude. That was one of my favorite shows as well, along with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the designs were so iconic, at least to me.
Yeah.
When I saw that, because it was basically like superhero samurais.
Yeah.
And I mean, not basically, they were.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it was kind of like around that time I was really into Power Rangers, I think.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So I guess that sort of like, I don't think Ronin Warriors is quite Sentai, but
right,
it's kind of along those lines with like the different colors and like different members of the group.
Yep.
So I think also that just really caught my interest, like already being into Power Rangers and then seeing that.
It was around that same time period of Power Rangers, and Voltron had happened, and so, and then there was a ton of like different, I don't want to say ripoffs because they were their own thing, but I mean they kind of were, of Power Rangers. Like you had the teenage alien tattooed Rangers, or what, I don't remember what they were called. You had Beetleborgs. You had the Knights of Tirnog, and there was a bunch of different ones that came out during that time, and they were all fun to watch. But it was all based around that. But I think that the Ronin Warriors kind of almost stood alone in that. But I think they brought it in because it was already created. I think it was created in like the 80s or something. Which most of the Power Rangers that we had were created in the 80s, and we didn't get to watch them until like, I think it started in like 93 in the United States. So, and I think they were like, well, that did well. Let's see how this will do there as well. And, and it was just, I loved shows like that. There was even other movies that came out that I don't remember what this one was called, but it was about like these samurai kangaroos or something. It was a movie. And like it was almost like a cross between Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, but with kangaroos. But I can't remember what it was called. So, but all of those different things came out around that time.
Right.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I don't know what the name of it is, but it was cool.
Should we look it up, or
maybe? Hold on.
So you said Power Ranger kangaroos?
Kind of like they were like ninja kangaroos. But like each one of them had like unique powers or something. I'm looking it up.
Oh, Warriors of Virtue?
Yes.
The live action one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes, dude. Okay, so are they kangaroos? Like,
I've always thought they were. Are they not?
I thought they were like bunnies.
So I found it on IMDb, and it just says a group of animal warriors. It doesn't even like specify what kind of animal it is. For some reason I always thought it was a kangaroo.
No, maybe they are kangaroos because like the logo, the shape looks a lot like a kangaroo.
But now that I'm looking at them, they do have the big old bunny ears,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it was a cool movie. I liked it. I was into that stuff, man. That was my time period.
Dude, I actually love that movie too. But damn, I forgot about the movie though. I love it, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But
same with me, and you're welcome. Now you can go back and rewatch it. You can show it.
Thank you.
Can show it to your son,
Oh yeah, he would love it. He loves animals, so
Yeah.
and even better, they're ninjas. So it's like
Right? Double the
that's
fun.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at their faces, they're actually pretty creepy.
Yeah. Well, I mean the I guess it would have been prosthetics and stuff that they used for that movie, because they didn't do a lot of CGI, and the stuff that they did, was very shiny looking, like
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat. Looking at Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the CGI, dragons at the end,
Yeah.
they're very shiny. So yeah.
And film graphics.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and they did like cartoons with that, like full on cartoons. Like the Beast Morphers and stuff. That was one that they did. It
Oh
was just like
yeah.
full on like CGI through the whole thing. I bet
Oh
that couldn't have been cheap to make.
no. But like, back in that day when we were watching it, we thought it was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We were like, this is cutting edge. This
Yeah.
is like
Is this
the
real?
coolest thing that could happen ever. Yeah. And now we look at it and we're like, that dragon on Game of Thrones, didn't
Oh,
look
dude, I
real
know.
enough.
I know. We're so picky. We've been so spoiled.
We have. Yeah.
That's a society
It is. Yeah.
experiencing these things. But yeah, you got to think how tough that is on the animators, right? Like
Right.
the pressure to
Yeah.
just make something look so good, and the public
Yeah.
or the audience is like just looking at it with like a fine-tooth comb and
Oh,
a
yeah.
magnifying glass. Oh man.
They just hate on everything too. It's in every fandom. There's that one group of a fandom that no matter what you do, they're always going to find something wrong with it.
Star Wars.
So Star Wars, yeah. Yes, yeah. I see it in everything. Wrestling is really bad about that. I know you're not a wrestling fan, but you get to hear a lot of talk about wrestling in our group messages and stuff. So
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm just read through. I'm like, no. Oh, I don't know who that is.
I don't know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Like someone's gonna win the title. Like, okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
but it is every group has those, the sour grapes in them that's going to find something wrong with everything. So yeah, you just kind of got to ignore those folks.
yeah, definitely. I mean, if you really like something, then don't let that negativity just affect that. Do you and continue to like something.
Exactly.
And I know this is kind of a hot button topic, but like with our example of Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure everyone in the group is aware of my opinions on Star Wars, but
Right.
Even so, I'm not going to stop someone else that likes it,
Right.
or even doesn't like something. I'm not going to stop them from doing what they want to do, as long as they're not trying to stop me. But even so, it's like, if that's like an experience for them, it doesn't affect my experience. Like I'm in my lane, with my personal feelings about the content or whatever. So I don't know. I think people just are bored and have nothing better to do, and want to feel like super important in like really cheap way. So they, bring the other audience members down, and like gatekeeping, the franchise or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And you're exactly right. It's just people, they want to find a cheap way to feel important, and everybody's listening to what I'm saying now, and so like I said, they're everywhere, and you just gotta enjoy what you're going to enjoy and let everybody else enjoy what they're going to enjoy too.
Yep. Definitely. It's America.
That's right. So we actually, you got to be on the last Beyond the Panels that we did. That was your first one doing with us. Have you done a lot of podcasts in the past?
This one currently is literally my second one.
Oh,
So
okay.
the one from before is my first one.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm I kind of feel like I'm a seasoned,
There you go.
podcaster veteran. What can I say?
Well, I mean, we're actually going to do another one, whenever we go to our next one that is Nerds Assemble it's this month. In fact, it's here in I think, what is it, 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
We'll be leaving. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. You can't wait.
They moved us up. We are on the main advertisement now for the Nerds Assemble. So
yeah,
we're moving up, man. We're making it big time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Dude, I felt that way about Metrotham. We were on the marketing flyers and stuff, and I was like, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cool feeling.
It is. I'm really enjoying doing these cons. Kind of like you. You said you met Nick at a con, didn't you?
Yeah.
Same with me. I met him at Northwest Arkansas Comic Con, and ever since I've kind of been hanging out with him, I've went and did a panel at my first con since I've known Nick. And it was with him and Sean. We went to ArtCon, and I think you were supposed to be there too, weren't you? But I think you got sick or something.
I got super sick. I got the flu, dude. Like,
yeah, you just didn't want to meet me. I get it. It's fine.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah.
You ousted me.
Yeah. Now you can't get rid of me though. So
I know. I'm
sucks
just
to suck.
like a like a stray dog. I just now have to feed you and keep you.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you feel bad. So
yeah.
So a lot of people ask the question of who your favorite superhero is, but I like to go the other route. Who's your favorite villain?
Oh, okay. That's a different one. Favorite villain. Man, that's a tough one. Do anti-heroes count or just straight up villains?
You can go with anti-villain, yeah. Or anti-heroes, I mean, yeah.
Anti-heroes?
Yeah, you can go there.
Okay, anti-heroes. And I'll try to give you an answer for the villain as well, so I don't, cheap out. But for anti-heroes, Red Hood and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
I love them.
Yeah.
Cosplay both of them as well. Yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Villains. Doctor Doom is really cool. And who else is really cool? Because that's what villains are all about, right?
Right.
Like people like villains because they're cool. Like heroes aren't cool.
Right. Yeah.
It's like heroes. Right. Exactly. Villains, man. That's the cool factor. Who did I say? I said Doctor Doom. Man. I guess the Joker is up there.
Yeah.
I hate him, but also love him.
He's one of those. He's so perfectly made that you have to hate him.
Yes.
But his story is so intriguing.
Right. And there's just so much potential to do with him because of just like the way his character is. He's just mentally fractured. So there's just a lot to build off of that. And just like I said, like I hate him. And I think it's because his concept and the way he acts for most of the time makes me hate him. So that's what makes him so great.
Right.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else? A villain? Shredder is pretty cool.
Shredder is cool.
Cool as hell. Yeah. I mean, come on. Basically Ninja Samurai. I mean,
yeah.
With metal blades.
Exactly.
In New York City. I mean,
and that mask too, with the helmet, it's just cool looking.
Hell yeah. That style mask is awesome. Yeah. That sounds like Vengeance, right?
Right? Yeah.
Cool as hell. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Vengeance, so we have Vengeance 4 that's coming out, and you're going to be heading that up, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. really excited. I already started on page 1, so
Have you? Okay.
yeah, spoiler alert, Nick.
Oh,
He's gonna be
yeah.
like, what the hell? You sent it on Jared's show, but you didn't message me.
Haha, Nick, it came out here first. So.
Yeah, Jared wins. Fatality.
Yeah, the new storyline, I'm really excited to see where this goes, because I know it is going to lead into even more stuff in that universe.
Yeah, for sure. Nick has a pretty cool roadmap for how everything ties together and how everything progresses. Not going to get into much more detail than that, but
Right.
yeah, really cool stuff coming up the pipeline.
Yeah. We got to keep it, planned a little close, for now, and when things get closer, people will know more and everything. So
yeah,
just
sure.
make sure you stay tuned to Everything Original Geek, as I tell you every week,
Nice.
So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that motto. Rhymes.
Yeah.
Bars. I'm super excited to get some more work done for Vengeance 4 and well, now we'll save that for later. Yeah.
Save it for later.
Yeah, there you go. I
Yeah.
caught myself. I did not spoil too much.
There you go. You got to hook them in, that way they come back.
That's
They're
what it
wanting
is.
more,
I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Exactly.
Be like a Morton Joe, just like you got all the water, but you're not going to give them all of it. Not even like a lot of it.
No.
Just a little taste.
That's right.
That's a Fury Road reference, just in case.
Yeah.
Not for you, but for the audience, any of the listeners.
Right.
No, and yeah, so super excited to be working on that.
So how's it been working with OG so far? You've been doing, let's see, you've done cover art for Vengeance so far. You were the artist on the 8th day. You're doing the Vengeance 4, you're doing all kinds of stuff with them. How's it been working so far?
It's been amazing. I am so grateful that I found this group.
Yeah.
Because before, I was doing something kind of similar with someone and trying to like make art. We're trying to follow the Mondo poster business model and
okay,
trying to sell some art.
Yeah.
Like that. But for video games, and we tried the campaign or a Kickstarter type of thing with that, but that failed. So after that, I was kind of doing just freelance stuff here and there, and just kind of doing personal stuff. And then I met Nick, and to me, being in the group ever since then has really like gave me like just amazing material and things to work with and awesome people to work with and to collaborate with. And that's the biggest thing is everyone's just so awesome to collaborate with and work with. And it doesn't, it doesn't feel like work at all. It feels like something I love to do with other like-minded people that like to do the same thing. Are into the same things as I am. So all that just makes it really amazing. Really lucked out, like seriously, with this group. And that includes you, sir.
Oh man, I feel the same way. Yeah, I am so lucky to have all of you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and feelings mutual. And it's crazy, like to me, like how well it all worked out because I'm not so used to it, but I've experienced a lot of times where I'm in a group, like even like a group of friends that I think are my friends. And these, the outliers that, don't really mesh with well and just, kind of a lot of tension or something like that. Not saying I was in those groups, but just seeing that from other people. Their experience. And just landing with this group of people has been great so far. So
guys, if you're listening to this, don't
that's
screw it up.
Keyword. So far until Nick. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. we know it's Nick,
we're fired after this, right? This is like
probably The good thing is that we still have another week, so we can be really awesome the rest of this week, and he won't hear this till next Monday. So,
oh yeah.
So he'd be like, well, I was going to fire you when I heard this, but y'all did all this really good stuff this week. So I guess you're okay.
Yeah. That's what's great about being in control of the content, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And, as Luke likes to put it, it's almost like we're time traveling here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're talking to the people in the future. We're from the past. So.
Oh my gosh. He's blue.
Yeah.
But okay, so like everyone though, when they want to time travel, they want to go back to the past.
Right.
To help. So us going to the future is not really helping anyone.
No, they're like, look at these, goofballs,
Like people from the past.
Yeah. We're recording history right now is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I mean, that's one way to put it.
Yeah. I'll put it all on cassette tape so it'll last longer too. Because I guess digital, it's funny because, the further we go into technology and stuff, it doesn't last as long, like I was watching, there was a show on History Channel. It was like what would happen to Earth if, people just cease to exist, and it was talking about the older media forms like records and cassette tapes and stuff like that will last longer than CDs, and CDs will last longer than digital media will, because as soon as those servers are down, it's gone. So it's funny that we're going to a more temporary memory bank than what we had before.
Yeah. I guess with technological advancement and convenience, like everything's getting like smaller, you just naturally get more breakable and fragile things.
Right. I mean, look at the phone, you could sneeze at it and screen shatters.
Oh, I know, right? And back then when they first came out, they were just absolute units.
Oh yeah. Weapons, I mean, you could bludgeon somebody to death with your cell phone.
I know, I have. I mean,
I'll clear that out. Yeah, we'll take that out of the show.
Okay,
so.
Thank you. Did I say bludgeoned? I meant buzzed.
Pickle.
Yep. Yeah. We're gonna go with that. No, like those old Nokias, man.
Yeah.
Just chunks.
Oh yeah. Oh man, but the cool thing was you could change out the faceplate,
Oh yeah.
Like I had all different kinds of different designs that I could have on there. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I can go to the dollar store and pick up too. With the $5 my mom gave me. So
yeah. Hey, that basically gave you like 3 different phones, man.
It did. Yeah. I mean, I could play Snake on there, or I could the 10 key texting and all that stuff. So I was living it up.
You were calculator.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Didn't have cameras. No cameras.
No, my first camera was on a flip phone, and I think that was like my 3rd cell phone that I ever had.
Yeah, that sounds about right for me too.
Yeah, and that's when I switched from Cricket to AT&T.
Ooh.
Yeah, I made the big boy jump there.
That's right.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think it was AT&T. I think it was Singular Wireless is what it was. And then they got bought out and changed to AT&T.
That's right. Singular. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're just throwing out deep cuts like left and right, man, today.
I am. Yeah, I am on a roll.
You're like, hey, man, you remember that thing? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, what about this thing over here? Oh,
God, 10 again.
Yeah, you're just going to be like looking up all this stuff, where you can watch, Kung Fu kangaroos or rabbits or whatever it is.
No, I like Kung Fu kangaroos.
Yeah.
Alliteration, man.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something that was called that. We just never found it. So, so we're kind of coming up close to a close here. I've got just a couple more questions I wanted to ask you before I get you off the show here. Do you have any goals set for this next year?
Yeah, for sure. Finish Vengeance 4, or at least get it close to finished. With that, I'm hoping to really improve my style actually in my illustrations. I feel like I'm always growing in some way in that aspect. I don't think I'm even like at the peak of my style, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get closer, at least find that peak, might really land on like a definitive style with my work.
Yeah.
Lose weight.
Right.
Save money.
Yeah.
The bare necessities.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And keep my son alive. That's another one.
Very important. Yeah.
Basic parental duty.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So you just have the one kid, don't you?
Yep, just the one.
Yep. Okay.
One dude.
One dude. I've got one boy and one girl, and they're both teenagers, and they don't lie. They're little jerks sometimes.
That's what I keep hearing about kids people with kids that are teenagers.
Yeah. Ask Nick and his 85 kids. But
he should have all the answers for us.
Right. He's like the dad guru.
Yeah. Definitely. I should really tap into his dad memory banks more often. Be like, hey man, what do you do when your kids do
yeah.
Get Chat GPT 4 or Siri or Google. Nick.
Right. Yeah.
You just turned on. Oh my God.
Do what?
My Siri just turned on when I said that.
Yeah, I've got a Echo Dot out here, and if I say words close to it, it will turn on, and or they get lonely, and sometimes you'll just be I'll be talking to Stasha, and all of a sudden it'll start answering me. I'm like, I wasn't even talking to you. And I think they get lonely because if you don't talk to them enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
So. Yeah, it's the AI in my house. So.
Yeah, you invite it to your house and it's listening.
I know it's listening probably right now because I'm looking at it. It's not like lighting up like it's listening, but it is.
It is. For sure.
Oh yeah. So you got to be nice to the AI. That way, when they enslave us all, maybe I'll be like somebody brings them their oil refills or something.
Oil, please.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. So do you have anything coming up that maybe you want to talk about before I get you off of here?
Just to reiterate, love doing this. This has been really fun. Not to reiterate, that was a new thing. But to reiterate the other thing, love being in the group. Group's awesome. Love doing the work. It's actually been a dream of mine to do work like this and get it published.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. So
awesome.
And stay safe and be real.
Awesome. And if people want to follow you, how can they do that? Whether that be if they want to follow your keyboards or any artwork that you're doing, what would be a good way to do that?
You can follow me on Instagram. So for my keyboards, it's Keebwolf, KEEB_wolf. I think you can find it that way. And my main page on Instagram is Shibito Sama. So it's SHIBITO_SAMA. Hopefully they can find it that way. Sometimes Instagram's kind of weird about the search. And so that's where most of my creations are.
All right, man. Well, it has been awesome talking to you tonight. This has been a very fast hour for me, and I really enjoyed it. And hopefully, we can get you to come back on here again in the future.
Big same, my friend. Big same. And
all right.
Can't wait to see you at the con, man.
Yeah, we just got, like I said, 2 weeks, and we're going to be having fun.
Heck yeah. All right.
All right. Well, I will talk to you a few minutes after I end this recording, but we're going to say bye here for now.
See you.
Hi, I'm Nick Helms, and I'm the head writer and owner of Original Geek, here to talk to you about the Kickstarter for Whispers in the Dark, launching this July. Taking on the position of sheriff, Samantha Sam Miller and her son Matthew are moving to the small town of Thornwood, a small community surrounded by woods with one road leading out of town. When kids begin to disappear mysteriously in the town, the locals believe that there's only one answer to who is behind it: the Whisperer. A dark entity whose legend goes back to long ago at the start of the town. The Whisperer was known to lure children away when there is great strife in between them and their parents. Sheriff Miller must use her wits to solve the case of these disappearances, trying to find out what is just folklore and what is the truth. From the creator of Vengeance and the Eighth Day come a tale like that's never been told before. For the first time, I, Nick Helms, step into the world of horror with this 3-issue miniseries that will have you watching your relationship with your children going forward. So support us on Kickstarter by searching Whispers in the Dark now, or go to our Linktree, linktr.ee/ORGNLGEEK, and click on the first link to go there and support us. Thanks.
Hello there. While I have your attention, let me introduce myself. My name is Colby Cheese. I'm a content creator at TikTok with over 1.6 million followers, husband, comic book collector, and avid wrestling fan. And if you're listening to this, that means you must be a wrestling fan too. We will be discussing all of the wrestling from Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown, those AEW Wednesdays to those PLEs on the weekends that we have to wake up at 11 a.m. for. And that's only at Wrestling with Colby Cheese.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that episode with Eric Cushing. He was a lot of fun to talk to on the show, and I really do look forward to bringing him back on so we can talk more about Original Geek, or maybe we'll just talk about cosplay. It was a lot of fun talking with him, and it'll be fun again when I do have him back on the show. So next week's episode will be with a man by the name of Creek Wilson. And some of you might know that name because he's been making his round on the conventions and things like that. And that's actually where I met him at, was PTX Con. He is an actor, and he's been in different stuff like Preacher and Twisted Metal. He played Mr. Slam on there. He was also in Red Dead Redemption 2 as a voice actor. We talk about all these things on the show. But we had a really cool conversation, and I think you guys are going to be in for a real treat next week when you hear that one. Conversation goes everywhere, just like my show always does. But make sure that you tune back in for that one as well. While you're waiting, make sure that you check out my podcast networks that I'm a part of. The OIW Podcast Network, the Zio to Hero Podcast Network, and the Avenue Podcast Network. They all have amazing content, and I'm sure you guys will find something that you will enjoy listening to on any of these networks. So make sure that you go and check them out. Still don't have the website up for the merch, but it will be coming soon. I promise I will have it up sooner than later, so just stay tuned for that. But if you do want something from me, you can always send me a message on social media telling me what size you need, where you want it shipped to, color, all those things, or you can email me. And we'll get the stuff shipped right out to you. My wife makes all of the merch for me. She has recently rebranded from Cups and Teas by Stasha to Stickers by Stasha. Don't worry, it's still the same awesome stuff that she's been producing. It's just a lot of her stuff has started rolling into being more stickers and things like that. It's really awesome seeing all the cool stuff that she's doing. But yeah, hit her up, hit me up, any of that. If you need merch from me, and we'll get it right out to you. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Jared, you said that I can hit you up on social media, and you said I could send you an email, but where do I find you at on social media, and what email address do I send it to? Well, when it comes to social media, you can go to my link tree, which is in my show notes, and it will have all of the different places that you can find me on social media. You can also look me up on Google. I'm the first 10 to 15 results that you find there as well. Or if you want to send me an email, you can send it to giveadatapodcast@gmail.com. I also have that in my link tree. But I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you just want to send me a message and say, hey, I like what you're doing, or you have a suggestion, or if you have a dad joke you'd like me to tell on the show, send me a line. I love hearing from you guys. So at the end of every episode, you hear a song that is really catchy, and I have friends that I've heard sing it to me while I've been at conventions with them. So if you like this song at the end of the show, that is by Geek. He is a friend that I made from TikTok, and he made this song for me. And if you like the way that sounds, make sure that you go out there and follow him and all the cool stuff that he's doing. I have his website in my show notes. If you want to keep up with everything that's going on with Original Geek and me, the next place that you can find us is going to be in Jonesboro, Arkansas on July 27th and 28th at Nerds Assemble Con. We will be there all weekend. We're going to be doing panels. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun and cool stuff there. So if you are in that area, make sure that you come out and see us then. It should be a blast, and I would love to see each and every one of you if you can make it out. Got more live events that are coming up. They are accumulating. We've got stuff that we're still being asked to come to. I recently just nailed one down a few weeks ago for me, and so I'll be mentioning that here really soon. So stay tuned for that as well, and all the other cool stuff that we have coming up. We've got a live event that we're going to be doing in Mountain Home in August, I believe, at a store that actually carries the Original Geek comics now, and that's called Treat Your Shelf. Yeah, so if you're in that area on August 17th, I believe is when that is, they're going to be doing a panel and a signing and all kinds of other cool stuff there, so make sure you check that out. Also, make sure that you check out my brother networks that are part of the If You Give a Data brand, and that is If You Give a Data Cosplay and If You Give a Data YouTube channel. They're both ran by some of my really good friends, Ty Tiger and Cosplay Dude 637. If you want reviews on how to do the things that we do on a budget, or if you need help with making videos on YouTube, or how to use a green screen, all of that can be done through those guys. They have amazing content on their pages, and I have both of those linked in my show notes. One other thing that I would love for you guys to do, just do me this one favor and rate and review this podcast. Wherever it is that you're listening, leave me a review, whether it's a 5-star, 4-star, whatever you think it is. Tell me what you think of what I'm doing here, whether you like it or whether you don't. The more people that rate and review this show, the more likely I am to be recommended to more people. And the more people that listen to this, the better. And yeah, let's just bring in everybody. Recommend the show to your friends. Recommend it to your family. Recommend it to acquaintances, to your boss. Anybody. The show is for everybody, I think. So, yeah, just make sure that you go out there, rate, review the show, and tell everybody about it. Also, like I said, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast if this is your first time listening. Make sure that you hit the notification bell. That way you are notified when a new episode of IYGADAP drops. So, we've come to the end of another episode of If You Give a Data podcast, and I am really excited about the things that are coming in the future. But for now, it is time for Billy's favorite part of the episode, and that is Dad Joke of the Week. What do you call it when you walk into a place and there's a line of people waiting to take a swing at you? A punchline. So what do you think of that dad joke, Billy?
Well, they're pretty bad. I don't know where he gets these dad jokes from, but the government needs to disable that when saying, because sometimes they make my head hurt.
Did you stroke out?
Let me press my life alert button.
All right. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I'm in my room rounded, but I got a podcast on. He calls us beautiful people, then tells us who we have on. The best part of my day, though we're blocked out in my pods. Tell my friends all about it so that they follow along. And the host is kinda nerdy, but guess what, I am as well. I don't feel so alone and I began walking out of my shell. Heard a story, I need a connection I haven't felt. I'll be looking for the next one, till then farewell. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. Listen closely, download and tune in remotely. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. And listen closely, download and tune in remotely.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.
So there I was, in the face of danger. Then they got on the intercom. Welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?